Hi, everyone. So I thought I'd break from what I was going to talk about a little bit as well, Pola Slava, and just talk about, I'm going to give you a little bit of background so there's a little bit of, so you'll have some context. But then I would like to share with you some of the things I've learned just from the startups that I've been involved with. And then leave you with, maybe if there's time, leave you with one kind of exercise that you might try, either with your, probably most recommended would be with your friend. So, a serial entrepreneur, this is my third company that I'm doing, Misfit Wearables. You may have heard about it. We make this product called the Misfit Shine. That's our first product. It's, we're on Indiegogo. That's where we launched. And well, this is following a company that started about 12 years ago called Agamatrix. We did blood glucose meters for people with diabetes. Anyone here know anyone with diabetes? Yeah, okay, pretty much everybody. We did that for a number of years. That was after my first company, which was a big failure, a software business, but which we did actually ended up selling the technology to a search engine back in 2001. So after my first company, I went back to my PhD program at MIT, tried to finish, try to be a good Asian son. I dropped back out again to start Agamatrix with my college buddy Sridhar there, and there we are in our apartment. 2001, we actually came up with a way of making sensors more accurate with better signal processing, basically with better math, making these things better rather than better chemistry. It worked. No one really believed us. We pitched. We got funding, mandatory T-shirt party afterwards. There it is. So us with our 3 employees moved into this basement, which now has now hosted our third business together, Misfit. We've graduated from the basement and moved into a house. We learned about how making glucose meters more accurate was actually a really stupid product idea because no one pays for glucose meters. So because it turns out it's the strips where you make all your money. And it's probably something you'd learn in, that I would have learned in an MBA program, but didn't have a chance to go. So we set to make our first pivot. We made strips. We're like, okay, well, that's where you make money. Well, we'll make strips. So we made all these machines ourselves, made strips, grew a business. Turned out that making strips was really hard. No one told us that, and so we learned it the hard way. So we went and got other people to make strips for us over in Asia. They couldn't make them accurate enough, but or high precision enough. But it was fine. With our system, it worked better. Anyway, so we ended up getting other people to make strips for our glucose meters, moved the business to New Hampshire, shipped our first product in 2006, and made our third mistake, which was trying to make a consumer brand. So anyone who's tried to make a consumer brand probably knows that it's really hard and expensive. So we got our butts beat by a bunch of big pharmaceutical companies who outmarketed us and basically convinced people that accuracy was not that important. And so we did a private label strategy. We got other people to market the product. So word got out about us. Demand went through the roof, went back, built another factory. And then the whole iPhone thing happened. So we approached Apple and said, "Hey, let's make a medical device that works with your iPhone." And of course, the answer was no, because they don't want to be involved in medical devices. They want to sell, music and whatnot all day long. And iPods and whatnot. And after about 9 months of not taking no for an answer, we got clearance. So world's first hardware medical device. Hooray, that was fun. That was actually our 4th pivot because we're making meters and strips for a while. It was good business, some great gross margin, but we got a little bored. So we really wanted to do something new. And with that, this whole glucose meter works with the iPhone. We did a big deal with a drug company called Sanofi who makes insulin. So insulin takes your glucose down, orange juice takes it up. Glucose meters measure what that number is. So it was a big deal. They spent more money on that launch than we did as a company for the first 4.5 years. So it was just like really awesome. And we, over the last 10 years, we looked at, we celebrated some great triumphs and shipped a lot of products, hired a bunch of people, invented stuff. So we had a lot of fun. We also, in a sense, just kind of redesigned this product category that had a lot of competitors. So one thing I'll kind of encourage anyone who is concerned about competitors. We entered the market with 30 competitors, so that's why no one wanted to fund us. And by the time we got to our first product, there were 68 competitors. So, but it turns out that people did not take these products very serious, designed very seriously for glucose meters, and so and we did, and it made a little bit of a difference. It turns out that a $10 billion market is plenty big for lots of companies. So, don't worry about competitors. It's about execution and disciplined execution and development and whatnot. I'll skip the video, but I'm going to skip through this because I was going to talk about healthcare, but no one really cares about that. And I'm going to skip wearables as well. So my current company is it's called Misfit Wearables. We make wearable computing products. The idea is, and the focus of what we're doing is making great wearable products, things that you would want to wear all the time for a long time, that would do something for you. So, and I'm going to skip through that really, but people here are familiar with like Fitbits and fuel bands and whatnot. Okay, so that's the space that we're starting in. In case you're not, this is what they look like. These are these are the pedometers that measure your activity, and hopefully will give you information to, be more active and live a healthier life. You have straps and armbands, wristbands, watches, sleep-related stuff, patches, shoe-worn things. Anyway, so that's the space that we're working in, and the one thing we've learned from this has been, I did this tweet recently, asking, when's this wearable stuff going to not, go mainstream, and we, and basically, and I was speaking at this conference, and where the day before, I was tweeting that, and someone actually responded, and she says, when it stops making me look like Tron. So that's why, and then I had a chance to put together this graphic the night before, and it's kind of recursive because she's in a Tron costume herself when she's doing this. So we ended up, so based on this, thinking about this and about the benefits of something like a glucose meter that plugs into your iPhone, the thing that we learned was that if you can reduce the amount of crap in people's lives, people really seem to value that. And so one of the things is wearable technology. So that's kind of what I do. I will, the approach we've taken, this might be of interest for some of you who are working on a startup or thinking about making your own product. The wearables world that we are in now, people generally think about what can technology do, encasing it in plastic, trying to make it pretty, and then trying to get someone to make it really cheaply and getting people to strap it on. And so that's, you end up with a product full of compromises. So our approach has always been, design from the outside in, start with what people would want to wear, invent stuff to make it work, and design for manufacturing from the beginning. So if anyone here wants to talk about hardware and whatnot, love to do it afterwards. World of wearables on the left, where we're going to be on the right. Let me just skip on to through this a bit. So Misfit, this is what that's the company I work with now. Founders, it's myself, my old college roommate once again, and John Scully. We're the founders of the business. We this is the product. I don't know if has anyone even heard of the Misfit Shine? Yeah, some of you. So it's basically it's an app. It's this device that you wear. It's a little metal disc. It's your own personal progress bar for your daily activity goals, and it's got this neat party trick where you put the device on the phone and it actually does the data transfer. And it just the app, we've got that as well. It helps you set your goals and see insights and whatnot. Now this is what the device looks like. apparently it was just on Jeopardy today. I had no idea. I don't know what the question was. Now I'm really curious that people are just tweeting me about it. So you can wear it in a number of different places. So there it is. And here's the comparison with other products. I think the main difference really is that we're made of metal, and that's what makes it different. And so you can wear it in a number of different places. Anyways, I'm blasting this because I don't want to make this into an infomercial. Okay, so what I wanted to share with you, some lessons learned from these two startups. Three startups actually. One from software, one from medical devices. Both the two of them in Boston. We've moved to San Francisco, and we're now doing this wearable computing thing. And there's these 5 things right here. Reputation, that was what kind of carried us through the different companies. The first company, we lost investors' money, or most of their money, and the first people to invest in our second company was actually our investors from the first company, and it was mainly because we were always very transparent and honest with them, and so they were the first to jump in, which kind of blew us away. We've more than made back their investment in both companies now, but it was one of those things where they had to trust us again, even if I'm sure it was a big step for them, and so. So reputation, huge. Being obsessed about culture, it's, the reason why I came was I wanted to meet Tony Hsieh. I wanted to see Zappos. I wanted to see this whole Las Vegas tech scene, and I'd always heard about, and then I actually literally just heard about the book Delivering Happiness, and I was like, oh, interesting. It's kind of similar to how we think about things, and so I wanted to come here and soak it up, and it's just really neat to see like-minded folks, because if there was anything I learned from the last all 3 startups really, that is a huge competitive advantage to have a strong culture that's distinctive, that drives your decision-making processes. So that's huge. We, in the first company, I always joked that we just hired a bunch of, smart people, and we ended up with, smart, socially inept teams. And then in the second company, we hired a bunch of experienced people. It's medical devices. You got to get people with 20 years of experience, right? And we end up with some people who had 1 year of experience 20 times. Not that useful either. And so now it's hire on culture first, and then it's about skills and wisdom. Being lean, if you haven't read The Lean Startup, you must read it. Think about the user first. That's one of the things where we found out, that really, if you take that seriously, it really works. And standing up for what you believe in. We were always told, you got to get experts, you got to get people to tell you what to do. Did you test this out? And it's like, well, experts have their place, but at the end of the day, there's the person that's responsible for the decision is you. So. So I guess you should trust them to some extent, but not completely. Being lean, you'll learn about this from the book if you read it. And, let me share with you a few points about our culture at Misfit, what we've distilled it to. Good things come in 3s, right? So we have three things here. First, it's about being thoughtful. In my last company, we ended up with a culture where the loudest people got heard rather than the rightest people got heard, and we just made sure that we stamped that out at Misfit, where it's a culture about where the right people get heard, not the loudest people. And so being thoughtful, taking time to think through things before jumping into them. Being a misfit, basically fearlessly breaking the rules where it's appropriate and where it's necessary, and being a servant leader. And servant leadership is like a huge part of who we are. And let me just tell you a little bit more about that. Basically, in many organizations, we see the people doing stuff, serving the team leads, who serve the CEO, who serve the board of directors, and somewhere along the way, the users are thought about. And at Misfit, what we think of is the users at the center of who we think about. And the engineers, scientists, designers, they're serving them. Team leads serve those guys. I serve the team leads. And the board of directors serves the company. In fact, on our website, our board they're listed as helpers. And so everyone signed up for it. So it was all good. And that model seems to be working a lot better. We tried to do that at my last company, but it was tough. But I think at the end of the day, you build something great for users, and you're probably more likely to succeed. If I could have a minute to share with you, the one thing I was going to leave with you, something that we were, this is pretty specific and somewhat random, but I thought it might be useful because I've shared this over the years with some friends in the past. And that is something that we do at Misfit that has been pretty powerful for us is feedback. So everybody gets feedback at least once every 3 weeks. And it stemmed from something that Sridhar, my college buddy who's been with me for 3 startups, Sridhar and I have done for almost 20 years now. We do it about once every 2 weeks. It's called cluelessness. Okay, and what we do is we get together and we have 2 monologues. We tell each other what the other is clueless about, because it's based on the idea that we don't know we can't see ourselves. And so I tell him, and it's no holds barred, at least between me and him, because it's professional and personal. And I can tell him, hey man, you body odor, man. So, and he can tell me, you talk too much, you go, okay. And then we can't respond, okay. We have to think about it. And if we wanted to respond, we have to wait until the next cluelessness session. So that means we have to take it, okay. And in fact, we have to think about together how we're going to address it. So Sridhar, he cannot say, no, I don't smell. What are you talking about? He has to say, okay, what should we do to address that? And we say, well, here's some whatever deodorant. You will use it at least once a week. And all right, and then we track how we did at the next time. How did you address this? And then, okay, did you address it? Great. Now, how did you feel about it? And at that point, he can say, oh, I didn't. I think you were full of it. I don't smell. Okay. And then that's it. 2 monologues, being very frank with each other, and we record it. We've tracked it for years. It's awesome. We've got all these things on each other, and we've just learned a lot. And then we all basically creating a safe space for people to give and receive feedback. So we do that between kind of like team leads and team members, and also peer-wise, and it's been pretty good. I mean, it's probably kind of a safe legal thing to do too, from a people perspective, But it's so if anyone's ever unhappy or is wanting to leave, whatever, it's never a surprise, or they need to be dismissed or whatnot. It's never a surprise, and so. So this whole feedback thing. So we call it feedback. We don't call it cluelessness at the company because it's work-related stuff that we give each other feedback on. So that's pretty much that. So I just want to encourage you. Find. We found that cluelessness, when you do the whole no holds barred thing, it works best with someone that you know really well and you really believe cares about you, cares about your well-being. And so it doesn't work that well. I've tried it actually where that wasn't completely true, and there wasn't a great trust element. I always felt like, oh, maybe they're just saying that because they're trying to stamp me down, or they probably thought the same thing. And so think of a really good friend, or it may not be your significant other. It may just be, I don't know, anyone, and try it out. See what you think, and if you have any things you want to share, shoot me a note. Yep, Khalid.
I just wanted to say you're kind of humble. I don't know if anyone knows what a Red Dot Design Award, but that's a pretty big deal. You get 1 in each category, so congrats.
Cool, thanks.
Question on what it does. I think design is obviously extremely important. Are there features that it provides that others don't? Because obviously it is a crowded space. And
sure.
Where's the future going other than in terms of the wearability? What is it that we want? it to do for us?
Yeah, good question. The question was, what does, so the last product that we did was the thing that won design awards and whatnot, but the Shine, this is the thing I'm wearing right now, it's just an activity tracker, so basically does the exact same thing like what a Fitbit or a Fuel Band would do, measures your steps, calories, that kind of thing. So it has the same functionality, and it's really the main difference is that it's elegant. It's made of metal. It's designed so that you can wear it anywhere, whether it's like, you know, to a friend's birthday party or your daughter's like wedding or whatnot. It could be, you know, you don't feel like a doofus wearing it because it's not plastic, you know, plastic and rubber, not natural things that you wear. But that's it. It's just, but the essence of the product really is to be something that you almost enjoy, find some joy wearing, and would inspire you to be more active. So that's, you know, at the end of the day, do you really need all this data? Yes, there are data junkies, quantified self folks. We love those folks. They'll never get enough data. You know, there are some people who will never get enough data, but the rest of us, I think, just want to know how well we're doing for the day. And that's basically all it does. Oh, Kate?
Yeah, to follow up on that,
yeah.
does that actually take like heart rates and?
No, it just does your activity. So same thing that any other pedometer activity tracker does. Yeah. We try to keep it simple.
You don't need to be sweating to make it work.
It's no, you don't. Yeah, you don't need to be sweaty. It's waterproof, so you could actually swim with it. But yeah, it's designed to allow, and no charging. That's the other thing. We have like this religious thing at Misfit about no charging. We live in this world of wireless products, and what's the first thing you see when you open a box of your wireless device, right? Wires. So we're not going to ship wires. It's just it just works for like 4 to 6 months. You change the battery once or twice a year. You know. Someone in the back there, maybe.
Suggested retail price.
Same as the other products, $100, and there's different bands. And so there's like a band that you can wear with it. There's a leather band. There's a necklace. You know, you can buy a bunch of accessories so you can wear it anywhere.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yep.